Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Do you have a remarkable device, or are you thinking about buying a remarkable device and you have a little bit of envy about what other device manufacturers provide in their tool sets? Then this video is for you. I want to take you through my top 10 mods that I've got installed on my Remarkable Paper Pure. I actually have about 49 installed, but I'm only going to go through the top 10 here. And if you're interested in installing these mods, you can go out and explore them on your own or check out Mitchell's channel. So let me answer some questions on the front end. What is developer mode? So it is provided by Remarkable and it allows users to make changes to the software of the device using SSH. Remarkable's website is going to warn you that modifying the software is to be done at your own risk. Mods are not sanctioned by Remarkable. They are allowed, but not sanctioned. But the ones that we're going to talk about today that are done by Mitchell Scott and some fellow developers, and all packaged together in a tool that he developed called ReManager, are really well done. So this tool, ReManager, allows for an easy step-by-step process of getting the mods onto your device. And I'm going to link two resources for you to help you if you're interested in modding your own device. The first will be the website for Mitchell's tools. It's remanager.io. I'll put that link in the description as well. This is where you can find the instructions, the tools to get it done. I did this in less than 30 minutes on my Remarkable Paper Pure. It's a very simple process, but you do need to follow the directions very clearly. And the second one is Mitchell's YouTube page, where he walks you step by step through the process if you need a little bit more assistance or hand holding. So as I mentioned, I have about 49 installed, and there's a lot more that I do not have installed. There's a lot out there, but I'm only going to go over the top 10 today and kind of show you what I'm most excited about. But there's more out there available. One more thing to note is that Mitchell does all this stuff just because he loves the remarkable devices. He loves doing the coding. He's really passionate about what he does. He does not get compensation for this in any way, shape, or form, but he does on this remarkable.io page. He does have a button where you can donate and buy him a coffee. And I would strongly suggest that if you do this and you find value in it, go drop Mitchell a little bit of change so that you can show the appreciation for it and give him a little bit of compensation for his efforts. He really deserves it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some of the mods. I don't have them in any particular order. I did group them together where they make a little bit of sense in what I'm going to show you. But let's go ahead and jump in. So first up, we're going to talk about table of contents, where you can take a document, you can break it up and hyperlink to different parts of the document. You can even hyperlink to other documents, and I'll show you that kind of as a secondary piece here. But as you'll notice, I'm in a sample notebook that I created. I've got a new icon over here, and it looks like, like a pie or a hamburger or whatever with some dots out to the side of it. This is our new table of contents entry, and the ability to be able to link to other documents. And if you have a table of contents built, this is where you can see it. I don't have any table of contents in this document yet. I can go ahead and add an entry. I'm on page 1. I can do that. And I can name it. I can just say first page and save. And then if I go back to my table of contents and show the table of contents, you'll see that I've got first page there. Now let's go ahead and go to the second page that I've got. I'm going to do it a different way here. I am going to lasso maybe the title of the page. And now I've got a table of contents icon here as well. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So what's cool about this piece, when I go to the table of contents now and I show it, this has recognized my handwriting and went ahead and converted that to the title of that particular table of contents entry. So I didn't have to name it. I didn't have to do anything manual. It just picked that up, and it was very accurate in doing so. Now you've also got the ability to edit your table of contents here. As you can see, I have a couple of icons. I've got some icons for up and down where I can move entries up and down the list. I've also got left and right where I can indent an entry. For example, I'm going to make this Note 2 title page. I'm going to make it a sub table of contents, and you'll see a couple of things happen. Now I've got the little chevron here that allows me to expand and collapse the table of contents. That's really cool. And then I've also got the ability to just delete it. I can, hit the trash can and get rid of it. There are some other options up here in the menu at the top. Right now, I don't have any numbering or anything as far as an outline. It's just my titles only. I can number this if I wanted to, 1, 2, and 3. You can see how that worked. I'm going to take this out of the sub so you can see it's no longer a sub outline. It's one of the main level outlines. So I gave it a numbering system here. I can also give it a numbering system like 1 and 2. But if this was a sub outline, you'll see that it's going to be 1.1. So it's going to number it intelligently based on the structure of your outline. And then finally, I can do outline in Roman numerals. If I were to make that a sub outline, it's going to go Roman numeral 1 and then A, B, C, so on and so forth for the sub outlines there. That is really cool. So one other thing that they put in here that's really cool is that you'll see that the page that you're actually on is bolded, so you can never get lost in your table of contents. If you wanted to get back to that, you could simply either hit the back button or go there, or if you wanted to go to another page, you just touch it and it jumps directly to that. All right, so the second thing that I wanted to show you is linking to other documents, or tying documents together, basically using this table of contents outline. So let me show you how this works. So I can come over here to this icon, and I've got the ability to link to another document. So I'm going to do that. I've got another test notebook number 2, and I can choose which page that I want to link to. Let's just say I want to link to page 2 here. And now you'll see that I've got test notebook 2 is entered here. If I wanted to move that around, I could certainly do it, but let me show you this real quick. I am in my original document, note 1. The second one is called note 2. If I go into my table of contents, I can go into note 2, page 2, and it's going to jump to that note 2, page 2 very easily and very quickly. That's really cool. Number 3 is the ability to select below everything below the line, or, and you could always do that on Remarkable, but now you can do everything above the line as well. So let me show you how that works. So if I go into my lasso tool, I can draw a line between something. Now, instead of having that little pop-up box that says select below, I've got a down pointing arrow and an up pointing arrow. If I wanted to do everything above that line, I could do that and move that around. And the same way with everything below. So it really adds the ability to select above or below. Genius move on that one. All right, next up is number 4, and that's adding your favorites and tagged notebooks to your menu bar at the bottom of the home screen. So let me show you this real quick. You'll notice that my menu bar doesn't look like the standard menu bar. A stock Remarkable would have this search icon, the plus, and then the calendar icon. But now this is adding 2 different things. It's got the favorite, the star, and it's got also the tag indicator or tag icon there. So the way that you would get to your favorites previously is you would take 2 fingers and swipe down from the top, and you've got recents and favorites, and you can find them there. And then a way that you could find tags before is you come up to your menu here and then click on tags, and you can see all your documents that have tags. But let me show you how quickly this works in comparison to that. So instead of having to swipe or go into the menu, if I want to see my favorites, I can just simply click on that. If I want to see my tagged items, I can just simply click on that, and there it is. Cool. So another convenient feature is if you are lassoing something and you wanted to tag this, and I'm not going to get very precise in my lasso tool here, but now you also have the ability to tag from here and create a tag for that. And you'll see when you come down here and open up the tags, it has recognized the text and created a tag with whatever you circled on there as that tag name. Next up is a modification to the toolbar to hide everything on the toolbar and not just have that little circle that you typically have, but it's replaced by an icon of the pen that you're currently using, the thickness that you've chosen from 1, 2, or 3. If you remember on Remarkable, I'll show you. You're either thin, medium, or thick, so that's 1, 2, and 3. And then whatever color that you're currently using, if you're on a color Remarkable device, it would show you that color up there in this little icon. So I can now, instead of hitting that circle that used to be there, I can get my menu out of the way, and I've only got that visual indicator of what pen I'm using, what thickness, and what color. That's cool. Also, in the next mod that I'm going to talk about on here is that if you have the menu hidden, you typically get rid of the close icon that's on the screen. That's the little X in a circle that allows you to tap on that and it will close the document. I don't like having that there because as a left-hander, if I'm using this toolbar across the side and I'm writing, I always hit that X. So I move the toolbar to a different position, like at the bottom, where that X goes somewhere else if I'm working with the toolbar open. And that's a little bit outside of what my preference is. So what I like about this is you can completely get rid of that X. It's gone. It's not there. So how do you close a document? Same way that you've always been able to do it. If you have not modded your Remarkable, you can close a document like this right now on your current Remarkable, and that's a 1 finger swipe. You just take 1 finger, You start off the screen and you swipe down from the top left, and that will close the document. Here's another quality of life feature that I think a lot of you might appreciate. Have you ever been writing and then you accidentally zoom the page, or you scroll the page with the side of your hand or whatever? Well, now you notice I've got a little lock icon over here on the right. I can lock out all touch input unless it's on the menu and stop that from happening. So for example, I can move around right now. I can lock this, and now my touch input no longer works. And I can still use the menu. For example, I can come over here and touch things and select different pins. I just can't do anything on the page. Is this stuff cool or what? Am I just crazy for being excited about it? Let me know in the comments if you want to hurt my feelings. This next one is very simple, but it's very welcome. Remarkable didn't have a clock at all, but now with one of the mods, you can swipe down for your quick settings, and you can see you've got a clock up here, and I was looking to make sure that it was the right time. It is. You have to set the time zone in ReManager, but once you do that, it is good to go. So this next mod comes in handy if you use a lot of hyperlink PDF documents. As I mentioned on previous videos, I build my own. This is a customized one that I built for myself, but the blank version of this is available on Etsy, and my store is linked in the description below. But basically it is a notebook that allows you to have 30 different subjects in one notebook. And then, for example, if my first subject up here is governance, if I wanted to go to that, now I've got 52 different individual notes that I can have just under that subject. So 30 subjects, 52 notes per subject. When I go into the first note, I've just got pages that I can write on. I can navigate back to the home. I can navigate back to my menus, uh, like this up here. So what this next mod does is it allows me to, when I want to look at a page overview, I'm going to bring up my menu here. If I want to bring up a page overview and just look at, this is a 5,384 page document. So obviously the majority of the pages in this document have no handwritten annotations on there. What if I just wanted to boil it down to only see the pages with a handwritten annotation? Well, now I've got this annotated option up here, and I can unselect that and see all of my blank pages. But when I select that, it's only going to bring back pages or show me pages in the overview where I have written something on that page. And you can see I've got notes, and these pages I wrote like a name at the top, so there's a handwritten component to that. But that is really handy to be able to just boil it down to where have I made notes on this document. If I don't want to jump on it, if I want to just select those pages, I could go through here and just export these pages if I wanted to, and that's a really powerful feature. All right, this next one's going to make a lot of people happy, I think. If you're coming from Remarkable 2, where you had the availability of that keyboard cover via the Pogo pins on the Remarkable 2, and you wanted to upgrade to the Remarkable Paper Pure, you know that it doesn't have the Pogo pin, so you can't get a keyboard cover for it. And then also, Remarkable doesn't support Bluetooth keyboards, or at least they told us that. Mitchell and team have figured out, yeah, it does have Bluetooth and integrated into the device. So they've given us a method to be able to tap into that. As you can see here, I'll go into my settings, and now I've got an icon over here for Bluetooth. And as you can see, I've already paired my K380 keyboard from Mac that I use. It's a little miniature keyboard. I really like it. It can have up to 3 devices connected. I'm going to put this on device 3 and go ahead and activate that. And now I can go in and create, let's just do a quick sheet. I'm going to do a text, add text, and check it out. Isn't that cool? So those are my top 10 favorites so far, but I haven't checked out everything yet. So they've added the ability to install Co-Reader. You can install some games on this. They've actually got an app center that they've figured out how to put on the screen, and I'll show you this real quick. I have not really explored this yet, but when I do the drop down here, I've got AppLoad. All I've got installed right now is just RM Stream, and I'm not sure what Tilem is, but RM Stream, I should have included this actually. RM Stream allows you to stream your screen for your Remarkable on any web browser by just going to the IP address that it gives you on the screen here, and that's really cool. I did not show some other cool stuff like, having co-reader on there. That's, as I mentioned, that's available. You can put that on there. I like reading, or currently I'm reading on just the stock software, with EPUBs that I load onto the device myself, but just some really cool stuff here. I will say that, there's some questions comes up about what if I have to restart my device and my mods aren't working? It's a very simple process to get your mods working again. There's a mod that's called, triple tap the power button or something like that. And when you restart your device, you can just triple tap your power button and it will reboot the UI and it will bring you back up with all your mods running. And it's a very quick restart of the UI as well. So just some really cool stuff here. I will also mention that, I said, the resources that I'm going to put in the description at the bottom. One of them is to ReManager.io. That's Mitchell's website where he's got all these resources. I mentioned that, if you go there, you can buy him a coffee if you want to. That's not a requirement to download any of this stuff. Mitchell's not, begging for money or anything like that. That's just my suggestion that if you've got the money to spare and you want to express appreciation, that would be just a great way to, help Mitchell out and kind of give him a little bit of reward for his efforts here, but not required. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, consider liking it. Also consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.